Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by James Dunne of Northville Wrestling. How's it going?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So I know you just had your senior night last night for wrestling, and you picked up your 100th win. And obviously, as everyone knows, it's every high school wrestler wants to get up to that point. And what was it like getting your 100th win?
It definitely felt good. Over like my last 4 years, just getting up to that point of 100 wins, and it felt like I was all those years were building up to that point, and like I was always looking forward to it, and just finally being able to do it, and like it happening on my senior night was just something really special. All my family was there, my friends were there, so it was a really good moment.
What has it been like to just be a part of Northville Wrestling, just these last 4 years? And if you can, what are some of the biggest memories that you have from wrestling there?
Yeah, definitely. So, it's been a good experience. We had a coaching change 2 years ago. And the new coach has been great. I think the new like culture we're building around Northville is really good. We have a lot more wrestlers than we used to have, so it just feels really good being like a mentor on the team and like trying to pave the future for the younger wrestlers and just be a good role model so the program can keep growing and keep getting better.
Okay, can you just go through like, this season and like, I know you had a lot of goals entering into this year, and obviously you accomplished one of the big ones, but what did you want to accomplish in this senior year?
Yeah, so for my senior year, like my goal is to win state. So right now I'm 30-2. I have two losses, but both of the losses were like they were up in the air. I could have won both the matches. So kind of just going forward, I'm just trying to keep getting better throughout the season. Like from my first match to the hopefully the state finals, just keep improving throughout the season, not to plateau and just really just peak in the postseason.
Yeah. I know there's two parts of the wrestling side of things. There's the team competition side, but there's also the individual component as well. How do you balance both of them? Because if you win, you do well for your team, but you also do, but also the individual side, you also won as well.
Yeah, of course. Well, wrestling is like a team sport, so as much as people don't think it is. So I think a lot of it is like me being successful helps bring my teammates up and like build trajectory. So it's really like where I'm at right now is all because of my teammates and then my training partner. So them improving is me improving. So just working with my team to get as best as we can and like my individual results reflect on the rest of the team. So I think just working my hardest to do it as much as I can to just work with myself and work with the people around me to get better, and I think the results of the team just follow.
Yeah. Okay, so you're in a conference. The KLAA has a lot of tough teams, a lot of wrestlers that could go a very long way, especially when you're going up against Heartland and if obviously everyone's seen what Brighton's been able to do this year. Uh,
Yeah.
what's it like going up against some of the toughest competition in the state? And they're right within your conference.
Yeah, so I think it's actually a privilege that we have like some of the top 10 ranked teams like Harlan, we have Brighton, John Glenn's on the other side of the conference. So it kind of just gives us an opportunity to see the best competition and really just wrestle the best wrestlers, which it might like hurt your record, but at the end of the day, it's gonna like prepare you to verse the people in the postseason. And like what I always say is like people talk about these tournaments like, oh, there's four ranked wrestlers, but when you're going to states, there's 16 ranked wrestlers. Like you're versing all the best people in the state. So if you're gonna avoid the hardest people earlier in the season, then you're not gonna be prepared for the postseason. So I think us just being in such a hard conference really prepares Northville for the postseason.
Yeah. So, okay, I know what are you how do you like mentally get ready for a match? Because everybody's so different. What do you do to get ready?
Yeah, so for me, it's really just like I love the sport of wrestling. I love practicing. I love competing. It's really just a thing where I'm going out there to have fun. I'm going out there to score as much points as I want. And the way I really think about it is like I could get taken down in the first period, and I still have two more periods to work and beat that guy. So So I just know that like I'm not gonna dwell over like what's gonna happen early on in the match because once I get in that match, like I'm ready to compete and like if I'm down early on, like I know I can come back. So I'm really not too nervous anymore. It's more just like I'm trying to score. I'm trying to do the best I can. I kind of wrestle like I'm at practice almost.
Yeah. Right before you get on the mat, because I know everyone's trying to get in the right headspace. How do you get in, kind of get like your zone before you get ready for a match?
Yeah, so I'll listen to music a few matches before, just calm myself down, get out of my head and just like focus on what needs to be done. And then right before that, I'll get my headgear on. I'll warm up, so I'll walk around, watch my teammates, like I'll encourage them, and then after that, I'm just going out there, getting on the mat and wrestling.
What's uh what's James listening to before a match?
I listen to
Okay.
a lot of country, a little bit of rap. So
Yeah. I know with senior night last night, the next few weeks are going to be pretty critical because of course you got team semis and finals coming up, and then lo and behold, it's Ford. You're going to be down at Ford Field. So
yeah.
what are these next few weeks going to be like? From a team perspective, and then also from an individual perspective, because you're chasing after a couple things.
Yeah, so I'll start with the team aspect. Like, I think this year, like, we definitely have a good chance of winning the district and making it to regionals. We already beat Plymouth, Salem, and Canton, like, by a large amount. So just keep that on, and I think that will be good for our team. And then for me and the like working towards states, I'm just gonna try to keep getting better and like. I'm not just worried about winning the match. I'm worried about like dominating the matches and scoring as many points as I can, just like just so I can get as much mat time as I can to be ready for the state finals because I know I'm going to be against some of the best people at state. So just getting ready with that with our KLA tournament, which has some good wrestlers, and then districts, regionals, and then states.
Yeah. Do you plan on continuing your wrestling career past college, past high school, I mean?
Yeah, so right now I've been talking to a few schools. I have a few offers, but I'm not really sure where I'm gonna end up yet. Like I'm still in the talks with a few coaches, so I'm really just gonna wait and see if I want to continue wrestling after the season.
And just the biggest thing is like, what are these few weeks going to be like for you? Because you're going on this journey, and this is the one last shot of accomplishing something you've always wanted to do. What are these few weeks going to be like, knowing that this is the last time you could potentially do this?
Yeah, so it definitely drives me to work a lot harder at practice just because I know like this is my last shot at like getting what I want. So I'm really just gonna try to outwork all my opponents and like know that like they're probably not working as hard as me. They're probably not they probably don't value like winning as much as me. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing and just working as hard as I can. So if for whatever reason I do fall short, I know I didn't like it wasn't my fault. I did everything I could to make it to that point.
All right. Um, James, let's get to know you a little bit. How about that?
All right.
Okay, what's the most memorable match that you've had so far in your high school
Ooh,
wrestling career?
that's a tough one. Yeah, so I don't know. I've had a couple matches my sophomore year. This was really like my turning point because my freshman and sophomore year, I was like not a good wrestler. I mean, my record from junior to senior year is probably 17 and 10, and or 17 somewhere in there, 70 and 10. And then my freshman and sophomore year, I was like below 50%. So I remember sophomore year against Plymouth, I versed a ranked wrestler, and I was really in it. Like I lost last second, but that's when I knew that I really could be like up there with those ranked wrestlers. And if I started caring about the sport more, like I could start working harder and getting where I want to be. So it really just flipped the switch. And then that off season, like I feel like I improved a lot from my sophomore to junior year, and that was really the drive.
Yeah. Um, let's see, what's like the outside of just on the mat, what do you notice that, the big jump that you made? What was the like the biggest improvement that you noticed just in yourself from obviously from a physical standpoint, from a wrestling standpoint, but just an overall person standpoint? Have you noticed what's the biggest change you've noticed in these past 4 years?
Yeah, so I definitely feel like I've matured a lot as a person. Like I take the sport a lot more serious, but at the same time, like I have fun with it. So a lot of people like to say that like wrestling's like the hardest sport, and like once you do wrestling, everything else is easy. But for me, it's more just like if you really like the sport, it's not going to be that hard for you. So like I enjoy pushing myself, and that really goes outside of wrestling. So with school, like I enjoy pushing myself. I in the weight room, I enjoy pushing myself. It's really just like the struggle isn't, like, something that turns me away, it's more something that, like, I enjoy doing, and it drives me to, like, better myself.
Yeah. Um, you know, is there when you got your 100th win, did you get emotional a little bit?
Yeah, definitely, especially because all my family was there. My little cousin was watching who'll be wrestling for Novi in a few years, he's in 5th grade, and, it really just felt nice, like, being able to be a role model for my other teammates and, like, my cousin who's gonna be wrestling and just everybody that supported me, like, my parents, my grandparents were there, my friends were there, so it was really just, like, it felt like a good moment, like a big accomplishment for me that just I really had to show that like all this hard work I put in has finally like led me up to that point.
Absolutely. Um, and then I'll just end it on this one. What would it mean to you to win a state title?
Yeah, it'd be huge, especially Northville doesn't have one in I think almost 30 years, 40 years. So I feel like it'd be great for the city of Northville, the wrestling program with the new coaches, and just like all the wrestlers to come, just knowing that like it's possible, even though we're not in a big powerhouse school like CC, Brighton, or Harlan, like it's possible to be a state champ out of Northville, and like as long as you work hard and like you really are dedicated to the sport, like anything's possible. And even beyond that, like it'd really just be like one of the biggest accomplishments of my life. So I really don't think like anything's out of touch or impossible to obtain just because like I'm able to win the state title.
Yeah. All right, James, thank you so much for the time as always. Congrats on getting the 100th win last night, and best of luck the rest of the season.
Yep. Thank you.